One of my favorite types, and maybe one of the most effective uses of music in video games, is when the tone of the music wildly contrasts with what is going on in the game. The classic example would be a hardcore, fast-paced fight with a gentle melody playing behind it. Alright, maybe not everything, but let's not mince words and get into this list of effective uses of tonally inconsistent music. First, a spoiler warning. Check out the chapters of the video to see the games I'm going to talk about. I will not be held responsible if you get spoiled, because these are going to be very spoiler-heavy moments generally in the games. First off is Gwyn's battle theme from Dark Souls 1. Now, this should really clarify the vibe of this video, because this piece is, to me, the quintessential vibe shift between gameplay and music. This piece is entirely different from basically anything else in the game. Almost all of the music for the other boss fights are frenetic, dramatic, sometimes choral, but certainly always chaotic. Take, for example, the first boss fight and Seath's boss fight. Even some of the more somber pieces still eventually fall prey to the drama, or, at the very least, have additional instrumentation. Sif's fight, I think, is a good example of that, although, depending on where I wanted to go with it, it could also possibly fall within this list. Although I think you could justify with how sad Sif gets near the end of the fight, it is pretty tonally consistent. But these are also in contrast with just walking around the world, which, except for some rare exceptions, is totally silent in terms of background music. So, by the time you get to Gwyn, you've been bouncing back and forth between no music and psychotic, syncopated boss fight music when you're hit with this. The fight is no less hectic than any other boss fight, but it is such tonal whiplash, and I love it. In part, the fact that it's different than anything else helps make this so much more memorable and emotional. Immediately upon hearing these types of pieces, you end up asking yourself, what's going on? Why is this different? Why is this so sad? Why does he look so sad? Why am I getting sad? It's just Dark Souls! Number 2 is another iconic moment in gaming, and it is Final Fantasy VII's fight against Jenova after Aerith is killed. Hey, I said spoiler alert earlier. Anyway, a common theme that will appear at least one more time in the rest of this list is music showing up and then continuing to play in a way that it normally wouldn't. In this case, normally the Jenova fights have this music. Great piece on its own. However, here's what happens for the Jenova fight after Aerith's death. Now, if you're like me, you're probably already emotionally devastated by the loss of Aerith. However, then you're doubly devastated by the effective use of music from the scene transition in the boss fight. It's hard to fight a boss when you're dehydrated from sobbing uncontrollably, but that's definitely what happened the first time I played this. Number 3 has a similar vibe to the moment in Final Fantasy VII, and it is the t-elos fight at the end of Xenosaga III. Normally, the boss fight music is the same throughout the game. After Final Fantasy VII and X, this is one of the first emotional pieces of music I can really remember experiencing. As you'll continue to see, I just love it when emotional music either plays or continues to play over boss music, replacing the music that would otherwise be there. Music's always been impactful on people, so this subversion of expectations is a nice twist and really gets you to focus on what's going on because of the sudden dramatic change. This one in particular is just... it's so lovely because of the ethereal twist to the game's music and the vocalist singing in, Latin? Something like that? Either way. It's so beautiful and is just a stark contrast from this hard-as-nails fight. Well, at least it was hard as nails when I was a child. I wasn't very good at video games. Also, anyway, this is one of those instances of music in games where I would just start the fight and have the music playing while I do something else because, again, I am old and did not have access to music streaming or recordings. Speaking of leaving the music playing, number 4 is another example of that, and that is Darkstone Will Shine from Darkstone. Or is it just Darkstone from Darkstone? I actually don't know the name of the song. Let's just assume it's Darkstone Will Shine. This one truly has no business being so good, and no business even really being in the game in the first place. Either way, I talked about this in one of my last videos, so I won't rehash it too much. Just go watch it, it's really good, I promise. But all of the music in this game is very environmental with maybe some light instrumentation. There's not really a lot going on with them. When you're in town, it just kind of looks like a Renaissance fair where you might see someone playing the role of the bard and strumming a lute or something like that somewhere. However, you drop a coin in front of her and this is what you hear instead.
You'll never find a shelter, a mountain too high. Save your soul, you gotta fight, step by step, you'll find a way to save your soul. Oh, the Darkstone will shine, the Darkstone will shine.
I mean, if you want a dramatic shift in tone, I'm not really sure you're going to find one more than this because it is completely out of place, and that is what makes it so amazing. I mean, it's amazing on its own, I'll give it that, but just out of fucking nowhere. Number 5 is one I've never actually played, so I don't have that much to say about it, but I was at least around, and that is the musical scene from Alan Wake 2. While I did not play it, I know enough about it to be dangerous. Basically, the tone through the game is a kind of like horror with a dash of absurdism, comedy, something along those lines. It's pretty clear when you see these clips how and why the music is just different.
Magic clicker, well yes, I think it's true and fair to say.
back to games I've actually played, number 6 is Zulf's theme that plays at the end of Bastion. I will never stop singing the praises of Darren Korb and the music he has made for Supergiant Games. Basically, if I do any more videos about video game music, just expect he's going to show up again in there somewhere. Truly, some of my favorite music of all time is stuff that he has done. He and the game devs really knew how to pull at the heartstrings with this one as well. Basically, Zulf betrays you in the course of the story and takes something important with him back to his home country, but they are none too happy to see him either, so they injure and leave him for dead. You're then left with the choice to either leave him and take him back with you. I say choice with heavy air quotes, implying that you can do anything other than save him, because that is truly the only option I will accept anyone choosing. Anyway, here's what happens when you choose to save him, and I'm just going to play the whole scene because it's just so good.
I can see it now. The kid in one corner, and Zulf in the other. Ain't much of a fight. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright. You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you? Kid's probably dealt with Zulf by now. He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
I truly believe that even without having the context, that is such an amazing scene, and the music is just, of course, so good. That being said, one might be able to argue that the music is actually completely consistent with the melodrama of the scene, and I would mostly agree. But, particularly when the scene starts, you're just being violently attacked, and only part of the way through does it turn into this somber death march. All the while, you've gotten this hopeful narration happening from the excellent narrator. Also, incredibly important to note about this one is that this is my list, and I can put whatever I want in there. Number 7, and this one really took me places, is the song Growing Wings from the end of Drakengard 2. I'm not sure what the overall consensus was for Drakengard 2. I'll get to that in a second, but I don't really care because I loved this. This is another one of those examples of a hectic, chaotic boss fight with incredibly somber music. In the situation here, the dragon, Legna, I think, has been the main character's father figure since birth, only for us to find out that he was basically grooming the character to become a powerful godlike creature to help dragons rule the world. You only learn this right before the final battle with Legna, so you have the song going in conjunction with the fact that both you and the character are trying to come to terms with the fact that you now have to fight. Let's watch!
I feel power filling my body. What's happening to me?
It's the awakening of the new breed. Do you need me to tell you?
The new breed? So I finally... Huh? Vegna! What's happened to you?
This is my true form and the will of the holy dragons.
Legna, is this my only choice? Do I really have to fight you? I'll have to risk it. An attack from the front. I never knew how strong he was. I never imagined fighting him.
I thought you were more obedient.
Slight tangent away from the purpose, but related to this song at the very least. I completely forgot about this song until I was researching ideas for this video. When I started listening to this, I was truly so overcome with nostalgia and emotion that I was crying heavily. Not like sobbing and, the out loud boo-hoo, but just stone-faced taking notes with crocodile tears running down my face. It was quite the sight to behold, and thankfully no one was there to behold it. Also, another tangent about this game is I have learned since writing the script that people don't actually like this game that much. It's actually, I think, people's least favorite of the Drakengard games, and that's including 3. People like 3 more than 2, and I don't get it, and I am not interested in learning because that's wrong. Anyway, number 8 is yet another frantic boss fight with sad music, and that is The Other Promise from Kingdom Hearts 2, which plays over the boss fight with Roxas near the end of the game. Anyone that's not a master at the game will understand the chaos of this fight. I mean, basically anytime you fight a person in Kingdom Hearts, you can expect them to wipe the floor with you if you aren't prepared, just like Sephiroth. But like other boss fights and the Sephiroth fight, the music is there letting you know that they are out to get you. That is, of course, until you fight Roxas. People with emotions may remember the trauma at the end of the first chapter of the game where Roxas accepts that he has to basically disappear, all the while his sad as hell theme is playing in the background.
I hate you so much.
You should share some of that hatred with Sora. He's far too nice for his own good.
No! My heart belongs to me! Sora. You're lucky. Looks like my summer vacation is over.
Well, in an attempt to rip out your heartstrings, that theme is back and remixed for the boss fight. Of course, in order to ramp up the emotional drama, both. They just had to add extra flair to this version. I have seen more than a few YouTubers break down into hysterics just as soon as that music starts playing. But because it's an action RPG, you pretty much have 2 options. Pause and sob uncontrollably, or get absolutely completely wrecked. Both emotionally and physically. Number 9 is Hyperion from Returnal. Or maybe more specifically, the climb up to the Hyperion fight, which might be called something different. I don't know, and that's after trying to find it, so you'll be able to find it one way or another.
It draws me, as the White Shadow Tower did, so long ago.
Why has my transfer been delayed? I have ways to deal with that.
The song is so loud, I have to silence it. The song. Why are you playing it?
So basically, I don't know what it's called, but this is such a different vibe and use of music from anything else in the game. Until this point, the music is the standard background music that only we hear as the audience, and it's usually a bit more frantic than this, although the Hyperion fight does start to ramp things up a bit. However, once you get there, Celine is able to hear it as well, because it's relevant to her story. I think having something to do with a family member, I don't know. Vati Vidya didn't do lore video for this game, so I have no idea what's going on. Not unlike Ocarina of Time, as you climb the tower, the music gets louder for you and Celine because you're approaching the source. I always found this to be such a fun use of the music because, well, you're not experiencing it alone. For Celine, this is basically the first time she'll have heard music on the planet at all, so you get to experience that vicariously through her. Well, that does it for this list. I, if it's not clear enough at this point already, absolutely love every single piece on here. I would say maybe the Alan Wake 2 one might be the weakest because I don't have the personal emotional connection other than just being around for it, but most of them are tied so keenly to some piece of my gaming history, so this might be a little bit more personal, and maybe you won't agree, maybe you've got different ones, and I would just love to know what some of those are. Please, if you have anything that would fit this video, or even if it doesn't, I would love to know in the comments, so please, 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 please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you whenever I get around to doing something again.